What were you saying about monkeys?
I don't fucking remember. Actually, monkeys are a fascinating animal if you think about it. Uh, what the fuck was I watching? There was something I was watching the other day about monkeys.
Planet of the Apes?
Oh no, it was Tiger King. The monkeys on Tiger King.
Oh, yeah.
I see you trying to open that over there. That was horrible.
Oh, dude, look, it literally got all over my...
It was so bad. It was a poor
It looks
kid.
like wine.
Wine is good.
Oh, by the way, welcome back to the Way Up North podcast featuring your two favorite co-hosts, Andrew and Will.
One of them is recording this from a basement.
Dude, like it's almost like such a flat background that it looks like you're on a green screen and that you're like you're green screened into a basement.
That's actually pretty cool. Like I said, I might record down here more often. If I ever did start streaming, I would definitely have this as my background because
Oh, for sure. You need to like
this is where horror movies are made.
What you should do is get a green screen, take a picture of that background that you're in right now,
Yeah.
and then just have that on your green screen, so it just always looks like you're in your parents' basement.
That would be legit.
It would be really funny.
It's as of today, there's no green screen. It's all real, unless I just green screened that in for.
Yeah, this is pre-recorded.
Yeah.
That movement, we had to time that. So yeah, this is I just want to get this right out of the way. Last episode, I made a point of talking about how much easier our process is to record podcasts and get things sent to each other, and that nothing goes wrong anymore because of how easy it does. And then I tried to send Will the video podcast version, and it got corrupted, and now I don't have it. So
I won't lie, I kind of, I wouldn't say expect that, but expected at the same time.
I jinxed myself.
Things don't always go our way, and it's just something you kind of got to roll with at this point.
I'm also not used to recording on Zoom yet because I usually with how we used to do it on OBS, and then we did it on Discord, and I had a timer to start the podcast.
Right.
Or I didn't have to time it. I can just kind of go off, but now I need to like get in the habit of like starting a timer.
So one of the things I'm currently trying to figure out is what am I going to do about a job?
That's right.
I haven't been well, I'm technically not out of a job because I'm employed by the company still. But I'm not making money from them or through them.
You're not making paychecks.
So I need to find an opportunity to make some cash because I might be here for the long haul. If things don't open up till June or July, I can't go because you're getting married. So what it's coming down to is I'm going to have to find a job that potentially lasts me the rest of the year until I can deploy next January.
So that's how that would be. You would end up just having to go next year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That sucks.
My dad yelling in the background.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, it seriously does look like you are on a green screen though. Like it's such
Dad,
a flat.
Stop yelling!
It's such a stat flag. It's just a flat background. It literally looks like your screen.
Well, hopefully my dad will stop yelling now. I don't know. He just got out of work, and of course he's up there screaming at everything.
Shout out to Will's dad featuring on the podcast. He's the guest this week.
That would be funny.
He's this week's guest. Don't worry about it. You're good.
I'm gonna tell him to shut
No,
up.
you're good.
Keeps it up.
So yeah, not much has changed.
No, not much has changed at all. I think they're getting sick of me at this point. No, they're always gonna say they're not. Because I've been gone for 6 years straight. This is the longest I've been home.
It really has.
But even I'm starting to lose my mind. Like I like being lazy as shit all the time, but at the same time I need to work again, man.
I saw this really relatable post on Facebook the other day that was like, I miss RSVPing to parties and then not going.
Dad, shut up! Thank you!
This is great. This is great content.
I need to. These floors are so thin, man. It's crazy.
I have some sound padding over there I can just get for you.
But honest, at least the internet's working just fine.
But you said that. Now you're gonna jinx it.
No, it'll work all right the rest of the night.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. Like I miss being able to not go to things, like have the option to go to that and then not go.
Yeah, say you're gonna go and then not show up. That's
It's the
something
thrill
I
of
did
it's
rather frequently.
it's the thrill of it. Like you
Yeah,
not being able to go for sure.
yeah. Usually, being out in Vegas, usually my Jeep would break down, so I couldn't make it to wherever I was going. Like my Jeep would just fall apart. Like, oh shit, can't go now. My Jeep's broke again. So that was an excuse. But now it's just talking to myself, inviting myself to places that don't even exist. So
Inviting yourself
losing my
into
mind.
a game.
Losing my mind. I'm trying to find some new places to hike and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, being home, one of the things I've realized is I'm still a really do it on my own kind of person. And the last 6 years, I've done a lot, almost everything on my own. So I like being by myself and doing things by myself. And now, when people are like, "Hey, you want to do this? Want to do that?" and I say, "No, I already did that on my own," they're like, "The fuck is wrong with you, dude? Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine. I do shit on my own now."
What is it? The other night I asked you, or this wasn't the other night, but a couple nights ago, you said, "Hey, do you want to?" You said, "Hey, I'm going night hiking. Do you have a flashlight?" And I was like, "Who are you going with?" "Oh, I'm going by myself."
Yeah, yep. Yeah, and people, I don't know. I'm not like Sarah, because Sarah's like, "Oh, give me a hug, give me a hug." Like, cool, I'll give you a hug a day. But like, she wants hugs. She's like, "I missed you, Will," and I'm like, I don't know how to show affection for any of my family members, dude. I'm a horrible person.
It is what it is, man. So we decide. I kind of, thought it'd be cool to do sort of like a recommendations for like music and maybe movies, TV shows that we've been watching, and maybe like other YouTubers or things or games, like whatever recommendations. Maybe each week we do a recommendation.
How many do you think we give out? I think one of each would be like
For yeah,
good.
like yeah. So like, I think yeah. So like, what I mean, we can kind of maybe each week it'll kind of we won't give a movie recommendation or a music recommendation, but at least recommend something that we've been
Right.
either doing or watching or playing or listening
Right.
to. Excuse me.
So, actually, I do have a YouTube recommendation actually, and I
All
don't.
right.
In my honest opinion, I don't. I'm not one to like to shout out to YouTubers that I'm not acquainted with or not friends with. But this YouTuber, he's from Australia. His YouTube channel is called Just Did a Thing, and he does a whole bunch of different like little science experiments. The one I watched today was it's like MythBusters. The one he did today was, or a while back that I watched today, it was about something along the lines of, could you chew through your finger trying to chew through a carrot? And so he put these tests together and stuff, trying to debunk it or prove it. And it was pretty
Almost
cool
like
to watch.
It's almost like MythBusters, like
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah. And that's something like that's what I kind of want to start doing. That's why I posted something on my Instagram today.
You made a
asking
joke.
for suggestions.
You made a joke about or you said to me, he's like, I want to do some science experiments.
Yeah, dude. I don't have the equipment to do like legit science experiments right now because everything's so hard to buy and I'm short on change because I don't have a job right now. But I would like to. There's just so many cool things to like test and theories to try out there that don't involve getting your leg blown off, and I'd like to try them. Even the ones that involve getting your leg possibly blown
Just
off.
stand far away.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, just stand far back.
But yeah, Just Did a Thing on YouTube. He's got a lot of cool little videos that don't involve ads because he doesn't believe in putting ads on his videos.
That's how you.
And he makes fun of politics and stuff. He makes fun of people and all that, like throws them shade, but in an indirect way. It's a pretty cool channel.
Yeah, so if you guys hear me typing, it's because I'm putting all these recommendations down on a Google Doc. So any of the recommendations that either of us have are going to be in the description of the video.
You're really shouting out these like.
Well, because
recommendations.
I'm not gonna just say it and like have people chase it. Like obviously everything's
These
gonna be below.
recommendation people better hook us up with some like
Some
free
ads.
gear.
No
Yeah.
free ads, right?
No.
All right. I guess I will keep it on the YouTube side of things since you said I will. Last week we talked about like gaming YouTubers and things like that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna keep it relevant to that and say, go check out slimecicle. He's a comedy YouTuber. He does like gaming content.
Mhm.
He's like he's part of the Call Me Carson gang. Like he's with
Oh, okay.
Jay Schlatt and all those guys. That crew of people. He does a lot of like he does a lot of Minecraft content, but he does like a lot of like the solo, like single player game content where he
Mhm.
just does like comedy bits. I think he like just records everything. I don't know if he does anything live. I think maybe his Minecrafts are live, but I think he like voices over his
Right.
content after the fact.
Mhm.
But no, I just started watching him like the other day, and he just makes puns the whole time. This whole thing, his whole shtick is that he makes just like stupid dad jokes and puns about the game he's playing, and
Okay.
so it's very like it's the edgy dumb stuff that you and I watch, but
Yeah.
he's also like this really nerdy looking dude, and it just makes it so much better. So Slimecicle. I'm gonna dump it in the link as well. But
He probably doesn't need our assistance
no,
in getting
I think he's over a
views.
mil. I think he's already over a mil
Yeah,
subscribers, anyways.
we're very far below that. So let's be honest here. He should be shouting out to
You
us.
want to know how much popular he is? I typed in his name on the Google Doc and it popped up and like had an ad going to his channel. So
Oh my
obviously he doesn't
goodness,
need the help.
that's
Yeah,
sketchy.
let's see how many subscribers he has. I'll go to his channel. He has 1.57 mil subscribers.
Oh my goodness,
So
that's impressive.
he has a mil and a half subscribers. So that's pretty good.
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Speaking of autocorrect and ads and all that, I found something out. I guess this could be our PSA for the week. I found something out about Facebook today. One of their, I don't want to say services. One of the things in their system tracks your off Facebook activity. So, for example, it tracks how many times you go into certain applications on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know in depth what it does, but I know because I was looking at it today. It tracks your app, like what applications you use, what you're doing in them, and what they are, in order to give you better add more ads related to you. When in reality, I don't want ads to begin with, so I just blocked it.
Mm-hmm.
If that's something you're interested in shutting off, it's under your Facebook settings, and you can go in there and find it. It's called off Facebook activity or something like that. It's
Huh.
kind of shady that they're keeping track of shit like that, but anything to make the money. There's your PSA for the week.
It kind of goes back. It kind of goes back to our turtle hats joke we tried to make
Yeah.
in episode 1. If for a long time listener, you'd get that reference. I'm not going to explain it.
You don't have to be a long time listener because it hasn't been a long time, but turtle hats. If you're day one, you're a turtle hats fan.
Yeah, you'll know. Like our logo is going to have a turtle in it, just to that first meme of the of that. All right, so I guess maybe I'll start off with another recommendation here. Let me
With
try
little
to.
commercials in between about shady things.
Commercial. Have
Oh,
you?
spider.
Yeah, Will's distracted. He's
Should I
like a
pick him
squirrel.
up?
Will, you got the attention span of a squirrel apparently right now.
Oh, he's running away. Shit, he's gone.
Yeah,
so are you gonna give us another recommendation, or do I have
So
to talk
no,
about
I
some
got one. So for people who like comedy, I'm just gonna shout out people who definitely do not need my recommendation because they obviously are.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should be shouting out to smaller channels that are smaller than us, and it's not even physically possible.
Well, it's not possible because there's channels that are There's no channels that are smaller than us. They're all bigger than us. So, all right. So my next recommendation is if you guys like comedy, stand-up comedy, like comedy specials, I recommend checking out Chris D'Elia's new hour special he did on Netflix. I believe it's called. Shoot, what is it called? See, I should have looked this up prior.
Yeah, you kind of fucked up there.
It's all right. I'm quick. I'm quick on my toes. No Pain. So go check out his new Netflix special called No Pain.
Does he not feel pain?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. He feels no pain.
I know somebody like that. If it's what I think you're talking about, where they don't literally feel any pain, that's a pretty crazy. People call it a disability. I think it's a superpower.
That's a dangerous phrase.
Yeah, it's dangerous, but I feel like it's a superpower.
Oh, I'm saying it's dangerous for you to say that.
I don't think so. I don't think. I don't know. I think people. I think people are cool to begin with. I think the way our bodies work and all that is. I think it's extremely fascinating.
I get that, but just come at it from another angle.
No,
because the way you come at it is like
that's
so aggressive.
Right there. That is
the way you come at it, you could get to that point of being.
No.
I can't wear these glasses because they're reflection. You can get to that point from any other way, but you don't have to say. You don't have to go through the way you did.
I didn't make fun of them or discourage them. If I did anything, I gave them more power.
This is why people, blow you up on Facebook.
People. I didn't do anything wrong. I empowered them.
Yeah. We'll see what the comments say. The one person.
There aren't any comments. And if there are, I'm going to that would be so cool to react to what people's shit the shit people holy shit, I just had a stroke.
Maybe someday.
It would be cool to react to the shit people say about me. I would love that.
All right. Well, do you have any Netflix recommendations or anything like that? Or movie recommendations?
I don't watch movies on Netflix typically. I just watch Tiger King, but everybody's already watched that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Will and I want to do it's kind of late because Tiger King's been out for quite a while now, but Will took a while to watch it.
I refused to for a while because it just sounded dumb.
So we're gonna do we're gonna just do maybe like a bonus podcast episode talking about Tiger King.
And how we felt about it in the situation.
So be on the lookout for that. So I'm gonna just say
I just recently watched the newest Star Wars movies, the one from last year and the one from 2 years ago and the one from 2019, and I was rather disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Like
you in the world.
So, in my opinion, the cinematography, the colors, and the artwork and all that, it was absolutely stunning, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Every little bit of those movies was captivating.
Visually, those movies are beautiful.
Captivating.
They're beautiful.
But the story, after J.J. Abrams wasn't allowed to create the story anymore, just turned into a giant train wreck.
Well, it's all about that third movie or the second movie, the episode 8. That's kind of where, like, I believe that, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people probably share this opinion, episode 7 is basically a rehashing of A New Hope, which is basically like it's pretty much the same exact storyline from the first movie with some slight adjustments.
Right.
And then when Rian Johnson took over and did The Last Jedi, he literally just turned everything on its head and left a mess.
You think he did it on purpose, or you think told?
I think if you watch any of other of his films, like he had that movie that came out, Knives Out, that was like really,
that one,
it was acclaimed really well. And it was acclaimed really well. Like everyone had good things to say about it. A lot of his films, he likes to kind of like subvert genres and do weird things. but he shouldn't have done that with Star Wars. Like Star Wars is a Star Wars, and he messed up some things in grand ways, and there was
Yes.
really no way that episode 9 could succeed because it kind of had to undo a lot of the mistakes
It
from that
was
movie.
the second one. The 9 was horrible.
That's
It
the
was the
best.
most. I think I predicted every little bit of that movie,
Is that the
and
last
it
one?
just yeah. And
Which
I
one?
think
Which one?
so.
Which one's?
So
Which one
when
was it?
so the one when the Empire is like all of a sudden back, and there's billions and billions of Empire ships that were just
Star Destroyers.
created out of nowhere. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like in the Emperor's back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Out of
okay.
I was like, dude, what the fuck
Well,
is going on?
I'm curious to know if like because I believe J.J. Abrams had a script that he wrote
Mhm.
for episode 2, and I'm curious to see if that ever gets leaked and comes out because there must have been a way to link those stories because in the second one, and well, I keep saying second one, but in episode 8,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
like the
The
villains,
new trilogy.
yeah, the new trilogy, Ryan Johnson kills the main villain of the series,
Yeah.
like in this like, but he didn't create a new villain at the end of the episode. He literally
No.
just kind of left it, and then they were kind of like,
Yep.
well, I guess we have to somehow piece it together here at the end, and
Yeah, it was a massive train wreck. One of the things I'm still not. I'm okay with Leia being a Jedi in training,
mm-hmm.
but you can't. It's kind of like J.K. Rowling coming out of nowhere and changing things about her book after the books have come out. So they created these movies and never mentioned anything about Leia being a Jedi. They never showed her training or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, I don't remember which one it is, but they show her training with Luke in
It's episode 9.
like a hologram thing. And I was like, you can't just make this stuff up now. It's a bit late for that.
Well, I think it was assumed like at the end of the original trilogy, at the end, like Leia kind of has force powers because like she can tell that Luke is fine. Like after,
Yeah, but what Jedi, mind you, can get launched out into space and survive?
okay, so that is no, I agree 100%. Like that was some Mary Pop, that was some Mary Poppins shit for sure.
I was so pissed, man. After that, I looked at my dad because he was sitting across from me, and I was like, "Do we really have to watch the rest of this?"
I watched that in theaters, and I literally was like, did she just like? I thought she was dead. Like I thought that was the
Oh
way
yeah,
they were gonna kill her, and I was like, wow, like obviously
it's kind
Carrie,
of a.
and it was recently after Carrie Fisher had died, like
Mhm.
passed away. So I was like,
Yeah.
if they kill her this way, that is like extremely messed up that they committed
Yeah.
to that. And then like to see her just like freeze time and then
Mhm.
pull herself back into the ship after
Yeah.
it got after it was blown up. It was like I
One
don't
of the
know.
things
It was
I don't
just stupid.
understand. I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Shit. Um. It just it was so depressing to see. And like I said, I'm cool with Leia having force powers, but if what was her Jedi rank? Yoda couldn't have done that. There's no way in hell Yoda would have got launched out into space in any of the older movies and survived.
Well, it's like in episode 9. By the way, if anyone hasn't seen these movies, I'm sorry, it's too late because these movies have been out for quite a while,
Yeah.
and if you were gonna see them, you would have seen them by now. So
Yep.
spoilers are gonna happen. So it's kind of like in the new episode, in episode 9, where like
With
all
Thick
of a
Ben,
sudden,
or is
all of a
8
sudden,
is with Thick Ben, right?
Thick Ben.
Thick Ben, where he has his shirt off.
Oh,
and he
Thick
lives
Ben.
wide as fuck.
Okay, so I'm saying like yeah, because he's got like the shirts pulled up like over his belly button, and he's just like.
Yeah, he's got traps from hell, dude.
So no, I mean, I think the dumb thing about force powers is all of a sudden they have this ability to transfer like health through each other, and they can like revive each other by like touching each
So
other.
there was always force heal.
But it was
like,
never.
right?
But it was never
was
in the
never-
movies though.
Yeah,
It was always in the games.
hmm Yeah, so it's I don't know.
in
I think
comics.
we've been on the topic too long, but it's
No.
frustrating.
This
It's
is
really frustrating.
this is just going to be our podcast, our recommendations. This is going to be the name of this episode.
Yeah, that sounds good. Um, The Witcher on Netflix is fantastic. I've read a couple of the books and they hit everything spot on.
Now I heard the books are
It's
like they're written like almost like annoying, like they take way too long to get anywhere.
I
Is
don't
what
think
I've heard.
I didn't have an issue.
Oh.
I don't know. I found a website that just explained how to read them in order.
Mm-hmm.
So now I can actually go read them in order. But that's one of the things I've been trying to get into recently is reading. I just started reading a translation of The Art of War. I don't remember who it's by. And take a look real quick, but
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty good. I haven't got into the meat and potatoes of it yet, but so far from what I've read, yeah, I don't remember who it's by. It's gonna take me a minute to find. If you want to entertain us here for a second or two.
So this week's sponsor. By the way, we have a sponsor this week. I don't know if you knew this.
Really?
We're really blowing up in the world. This week's sponsor is sorry, I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Dude, they probably disowned us.
This week's sponsor
This
is
rough, dude.
Anchor. So
Thank you,
Anchor is Anchor is a podcast platform where you can release your podcast episodes on to help distribute it to a wide platform. It is completely free. You just need to sign up, give them your information, give them your 401k, give them your social security number, give them all this great stuff.
And then you get to sign your life away.
Give them your bank routing number, give them all that stuff, and then they can distribute your podcast to just iTunes.
So
no, I'm just kidding.
It's The Art of War by Samuel B. Griffith.
Samuel B. Griffith.
It's pretty good. It's tough to get I guess a manuscript, like The Art of War, and translate it from Mandarin or their calligraphy to English, but there's been so many translations over the years.
I'm happy to see you reading. I know you talked about that last episode too, so it's good that you've been reading for a solid week by listeners.
I've been buying books. No, I've been reading like heavily every day, but I have been reading more in a week than I have in the last 16 years of my life. So we're getting somewhere, eh?
All right. I guess I'll do another recommendation. So how about I'm just gonna, I guess I'll just stay with movies and media and stuff like that today, or in like YouTube. But I'll give a shout out just because he's a friend of ours. He's been on the podcast before. He's the only guest we've ever had, ever.
Is his YouTube channel up?
I don't think his YouTube channel is up, but his Twitch is up.
Posting a video. He said he was posting a video.
Oh, well, maybe he has a video up. So go check out our friend Verm. He's been on the episode a couple times. He is on Twitch now, streaming under the I Am the Verm, or I Am Verm. What is it?
I think it's I Am Verm.
I think it's I Am the Verm, or I Am a Verm.
It should just be as I Am Verm.
No, I remember I had to look it up. We're butchering this. Someone banter quickly while I fix my mistakes.
I posted another YouTube video the other
I
day.
Am the Verm. It is I Am the Verm.
Somebody must have stole his name already.
Probably. So our friend Verm has a Twitch. He's going to have a YouTube channel. It's probably just going to be I Am Verm. Go check him out. He's going to post some video content. Also, another YouTuber that I am going to shout out is you know him locally. You've heard his name. He's been all over the streets of Rumford. His name, roll please, is Will the Sniper with 1 L.
Dude, my videos are awful. I really need to get like I said, if I would have known I was gonna be here longer, I would have brought all my shit to record and all that. Instead, here I am with no shit to record and jobless right now. So we're doing well.
So Will the Sniper is a YouTube channel. It's a gaming comedy channel. Put some good bits.
He's coming up with more comedy. He's coming up with some more raw ideas here soon.
It's gonna be more than it's gonna be some live action comedy science crap.
Dude, I need to be disciplined with it, you know. That's my one fault right now. I've gotten a couple of my other gaming friends to get into making videos now. So like when I'm playing Call of Duty with them and shit, they'll be like, dude, I just clipped that, I'm putting it into a video. I'm clipping this, I'm putting this into a video. Hey, I finished one, you want to check it out? So it's pretty cool to have like a little group making videos as well.
I mean, yeah. We kind of had that like a little bit with the group that we have.
Yeah.
The unofficial group that we have.
Yeah.
But
the only difference between us and Verm is Verm has people edit for him because he has the money to do that.
I just released a new logo. I'll send it. I'm gonna post it in our group chat.
Your YouTube channel?
For my personal YouTube channel, Not the Swimmer, which is my gaming.
YouTube channel. Yeah, see, he just shouted out himself. Look at that greedy bastard.
So I'm gonna throw it in. I'm gonna drop it in our links and send it to you personally.
There was something I wanted to shout out that you weren't gonna agree with, but needed to be shouted out.
Go ahead, think of it.
I don't remember it.
I'll wait. I got all day.
I don't remember. Yeah, if it comes back, I'll say it. But it was probably, if I can't remember, it's probably not even necessary.
It's probably very important.
I probably shouldn't be saying it.
Oh. So yeah, I have, I'm gonna start putting some videos out. I have some ideas. I think I talked about last episode. So I have been inspired to do it. So I've been really down this week. Like I haven't really had a lot of motivation. Like Will and I are actually recording this on Thursday, and the podcast technically comes out tomorrow. So when you're hearing this, it's because I waited so long because I'm lazy.
I was super tired yesterday. I didn't do a damn thing.
Yeah, man.
Dude, isn't fatigue a part of the coronavirus?
I don't think either of us have corona, but I don't know. I think we're just tired, man.
I know why I'm tired. I'm tired because I'm lazy.
And I'm tired because I work all day. See, for the video listeners, you'll see what happened. But if you're an audio listener, Will and I just grinned at each other for like 5 seconds.
The corona, I'm coming over tomorrow.
If I have the corona, you're coming over?
Yeah.
Why? So you can get it from me? You want to get it?
Yeah.
Why did you want to get it?
So I can throw myself in a frozen lake, and they'll be like, "Oh, why did he do that? Oh, he had the corona. He didn't want to give it to anyone else. What a brave man to sacrifice himself."
Well, then they'll be like, "Who'd he get it from?" And they'll be like, "Oh, it was his."
No, they won't be able to tell because I'll erase it.
You'll erase the coronavirus?
I'll erase it from my hard drive.
The video? Even though this will be up on you.
Getting the coronavirus.
Is it because you're hooked into the simulation that we're in?
Yeah. Dude, I like that. That's a really good logo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell the world how I did it.
Get that tattooed on my chest.
I'm not gonna tell.
I need another tattoo.
Yeah, you need this one.
Yeah. I need to get like 5 or 6 more.
So like, yeah. Well, we have a group tattoo or a friend tattoo with another friend of ours. Shout out to Nick. Rest in peace.
Friend tattoos.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace, Nick. We miss you. Hopefully one day you'll be alive, but right now you're just not a real boy, and we can't help that.
No, he's up there in heaven.
I've got one friend's tattoo so far. Well, deployment buddy tattoo.
Those are different.
I got my pizza while I was in Sicily.
Yeah, that's right. Kind of makes sense though, because you're Sicily pizza.
I put my my family's name on it. Umbro. My great grandfather was from mainland Italy, so I figured it was like a nice little tribute as well.
Yeah, make it more personal.
Yep.
Yeah, I just got one right now, but I'm gonna get a throat one that says Let's go, boys.
I definitely, I don't know. We'll see. I might get an eyeball tattoo.
What color? We'll get it red, so you just have red eyes.
Dude, no, that would fucking hurt.
Get it blue, so you can be a blue eyes white dragon. Shout out to all our Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there. Did you ever play Yu-Gi-Oh growing up?
I didn't. I did a little bit, but not a lot. To the point where I only had a few cards. I didn't have many. I wasn't smart with card games. There are too many stipulations. It confused me. It still confuses me to this day.
I played Magic the Gathering for a while, like kind of on and off.
Yeah.
And I hate that game because a lot of the cards that I had growing up are not regulated to use anymore. Like you can't use and play.
Yeah.
Because apparently they have, I don't know what the reasoning is, but I think it's dumb that a card game can be like, hey, you know, all this money you spent on all these cards like 10 years ago, they're now worth nothing to anybody.
Yeah, it's kind of robbery. That's right, dude. Magic, fuck.
It was like
years ago, man.
Magic the Gathering was like an adult version of Yu-Gi-Oh. As adult as that can be.
It did come out that long ago because it came out. It was around before Skyrim came out, and I remembered like Skyrim. I remember going to the midnight release and everybody playing Magic, and I was sitting there like,
what are these guys doing?
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
But
I don't. Yeah. I ain't that crap anymore.
I want to bring up some main news.
There you go.
Main news segment. Everybody that has or lives in Maine has definitely heard about this. I know a couple of my friends have shared it already on the internet. The pulp mill explosion.
Oh, are we gonna put somebody on blast?
I'm putting them on blast.
Are we gonna put somebody on blast who should be put on blast for being a piece of crap?
We'll go. I want to put a couple people on blast here. So there's the people that went on. So there are a couple videos circulating Facebook about it. There was a group of people going on the video and like making fun of the people's accents, which kind of upset me because, you know, you're watching something blow up that could have potentially killed people, and you're over there, oh my gosh, listen to their accent. Like, bitch, shut up. If that's the only reason you're here, just leave. Because it's an easy way to make yourself a target, and I know how to find people, so I'll shoot you. Anyway, the one thing that really pissed me off was our beloved quote unquote beloved Stephen King.
Oh yeah, this man.
So, in my opinion, if you're gonna hold somebody to a certain standard, for example, he holds Donald Trump to a certain standard, and I'm sure he holds other celebrities to that same standard. If you're gonna do that, do not go around and not keep yourself to that standard as well. He went on to Twitter, and to me, it was a joke. To me,
I think he was making a joke for sure.
The way I read it, it came off as a joke, and some people sided with him and said he's a story writer. He tells stories, and I was like, that's a joke. He basically said that a mill in Maine, a toilet paper mill, blew up right down the road from him. First of all, Mr. King, you're about 3.5 hours away from Maine, so that ain't right down the road. And second of all, it's not a toilet paper mill, so why don't you go be an asshole somewhere else? I hope you run out of toilet paper, mister. It's just so frustrating.
Like, you and I both have a very dry sense of humor when it comes to that. So like,
I'm all for people making fun of things and making jokes, but the timing of it, and given the pandemic situation at hand, probably a shitty time to place that joke where he did.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like some people still feel like because they're a celebrity that they can say things and get away with it. Obviously, with like everything going on with, you know, the cancel culture that was going on most of last year and the year before that, like a lot of people have been afraid to make big statements, being afraid of being canceled. But I think that I just completely lost my train of thought. I think that people, for some reason now, because of this virus, feel like they can kind of say what they want because everyone's more focused on the virus, and you can't. You know,
Yeah,
I think cancel culture is a little
I think it's
too.
stupid.
I think it's over the top. Like obviously,
Yeah.
it has taken some people down who deserve to be taken down. Like obviously
Mhm.
Harvey Weinstein, all the
Yep.
bad things he did. Get that guy out of here. But when you're canceling people for little tiny statements that they've made on Twitter, like that was the whole thing with James Gunn and the guy who did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Yeah.
And he got, I mean, obviously he has his job back now, but when he had some tweets, some very edgy tweets that he put out like a couple of years ago, and they went back
Mhm.
and found it, and then they fired him for that. It's like
Yeah, it's
people,
a bit much.
yeah, we're canceling people just for the sake of canceling them now at this
Yeah.
point, and
Yeah.
it's good that it's kind of stopped because of the coronavirus. It's sort of a
Mhm.
weird silver lining, but it doesn't give you the right to go out and just just be an ass first for the
Yeah.
sake of being an
There's
ass.
there's a fine line, and if you can't walk that fine line, sometimes I even step over it. I step over it pretty frequently, probably. But if you don't know where the balance is at, then you shouldn't be making jokes like that.
Oh,
There's a time and a place, and I feel like you and I especially know the time and place, or know who we're making jokes around and who's seeing them or hearing them before we go off and do something like that.
I know people have tried to cancel you though.
No,
On a
no.
low key scale, people have come after you, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
like there was
And
a thing
I see.
back when. Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing though, is it's never gonna happen. You're never gonna shut me down. I hate to say it. It's not gonna happen.
I'm just too cool for all y'all.
But it's frustrating. Um, I don't know, dude. It's I get people saying what they want, but just the timing was bad. It was rough.
So yeah, go buy Stephen King's new book. It's
And probably burn it.
the guy says, he makes a joke. Oh, I've been reading, and now let's go burn a book.
I would burn his books after a statement like that.
Do
It's
you?
funny. Here's the best thing about it for me is a lot of people I disagree with really frequently in the state of Maine.
Mhm.
Like we both had the same opinion on this situation, and I was like, that is fucking cool.
A
Stupid
lot.
people bringing disagreeers together.
It's you'll yeah, like it's weird how where like people draw the line and like can come together,
Yeah,
because you and I can agree like obviously right now our country's divided into two different sections, and the fact that
I'd say
people
three. I'd say three.
okay.
I think there's a middle that thinks both sides are retarded, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I'm with you there. No, but then it's weird what can bring people together, and apparently a
Yeah,
guy making a joke about toilet paper, uh, you know, or making a
yeah.
joke about a mill exploding and I think he made that joke before it was even announced that like if everyone was okay. So I still think
I don't know.
I
I don't
don't
want to.
know the
I
timing
don't
of it.
want to.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to say that because then we're putting ourselves in waters that we don't want to put ourselves in. I feel
yeah,
like.
uncharted waters.
So speaking of uncharted waters,
See,
this is the last thing I've got to talk about. I don't know if you have anything else, but how do you feel about these coronavirus protesters?
how does that relate to uncharted waters? But okay, I'll switch her. So like,
They're going off into uncharted waters they shouldn't be going into, and
so
I actually, from what I've heard, a couple have already got sick.
so like, my thing is, I really want to keep as much politics off the podcast as we can. Like I
No, just how you feel.
no,
That's
no, I know. So like I personally never really put my personal opinion out there when it comes to politics, just because
mhm.
I hate, you know, talking about my political opinion.
You talk to me about it all the damn
I do,
time.
yeah. In private, I'll
All the
talk about
time.
it. I'll talk about it in private as all the time, but like to the world. So I'll say this, and I think you and I agree on this. First of all, you know, regardless of political position, this is a pandemic that's going on.
Mhm.
People are dying. I know people, there's like people who don't believe in the stats, and people are like, oh, numbers are, the death toll
Yeah.
isn't that bad. There's still people out there who are saying that, but people have to understand that people are dying from this. And
Hmm.
you going into public and protesting, telling people to reopen your state or reopen the country is
Hmm.
dumb. Like, why are we like, I understand. I don't want to say I understand where people are coming from. Like, people don't obviously want their freedom taken away.
Here, I'll say it for you. I understand where they're coming. Some are coming from. Some
Hmm.
people can't afford to be out of work for 2 months straight.
No, and I get
Some
that.
and the problem is here is because I agree with you as well. I agree protesting is a horrible idea,
Hmm.
but I also agree that you can't just tell us not to work and then not have some way for us to be able to survive. You know
No,
what
I
I mean?
agree. There's always a better way about doing things,
Yes. Yes,
and
there's
and
definitely a better way to go
and
about things.
going out into massive groups together and
Hmm.
protesting your state houses and the government is not the way to do it, especially during the time of a pandemic. I am all for people standing up for their opinions, like
Hmm.
regardless if I agree with their opinion or not. If you can stand up to your opinion in a polite way and do it the right way, I
Yeah.
will always respect that.
Hmm.
Like, you and I might not agree on some things, but you have rational reasons why, and you can explain it to me in a rational way.
Sometimes
Well,
it's rational. Other
yes,
times not so much.
but I respect somebody's opinion if they can bring it across rationally and not be over the top aggressive about it. But when you go stand
Right.
outside and you have picket fences saying, we want our freedom, we need jobs, we need our jobs back, and you're doing an aggressive way, and
Yeah.
you're, it's just, you look dumb. Like, that's the
Yeah.
line. You make yourself look dumb, and then
Hmm.
everyone on the internet is just gonna, is says you're dumb, and that's pretty much what
Yeah.
I have to say about it. Is I
I
just
think
think people are dumb for protesting at this point.
one of the things that cracks me up is because I feel for some of the people that have been protesting. I understand you want to get back to your job. I understand you 1,200 bucks wasn't enough for anybody to survive on. I think one of the funniest things I was told, especially in the military, is have money saved up so you just in case something happens, you're covered. Yeah, you should, but at the same time, these companies should have money saved up. For example, airline companies, they should have money saved up so if something happened, they're covered. You know what I mean? So there's
Oh,
all
for
these.
sure.
It's like the pot calling the kettle black. They should have been doing it as well. And I get now they're asked like mortgage companies and all that, they're asking for their money still, and people don't have that money to give anymore. Like, what is you can't tell us not to work and expect us to pay our bills at the same time. So I get that. Um, the one thing that I find hilarious that has been cracking me up is the people that say the pandemic isn't a problem, isn't an issue, and it's not making people sick. So I'm gonna go protest. How
Hmm.
are they protesting? Well, they don't want to leave their home because they're afraid of the pandemic, so they're protesting in their house. They don't want to get out of their car to protest, so they're driving around the city hall in their car to protest because they're afraid of the pandemic. But the pandemic ain't real. So it's kind of funny that like the people that have been saying the pandemic ain't shit are the same ones protesting from inside their vehicles driving around in circles. Like, but at the same time, I get it. Like, the government expects us to somehow pay all these fucking bills we have without working, without having a steady income.
And I feel like a lot
And
of businesses have been good. Sorry.
they're not giving us an answer. The government's not giving us an answer for that.
Oh, for
What
sure.
are we if this continues on, what are we going to do, you know?
No, I agree, and I think a lot of businesses have been good for the most part about
Mhm.
uh trying to, especially, I have a couple credit cards and stuff like that, and I've seen on like my, on my account information, and even on like other bank statements and stuff like that, saying like COVID relief. So I think they're trying their best to give people,
Yeah.
you know, options through this. And I think what we have to understand is like, yeah, $1,200 isn't going to be enough for people to get by for, you know, sometimes, I people can live off $12,000 for what? Like like 2 weeks if they really wanted to, but that doesn't include bills.
depends what your rent is, man. Alone, if I was living by myself and didn't have a roommate, I'd be paying $1,200 for rent.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Well, no, I agree.
There's my stimulus check gone.
Yeah, no, I think, but but you have to think. I know people have been kind of giving crap to these bigger businesses about they've been getting more relief than a lot of the individuals. Like, they've been giving a lot of more buyouts to big companies. But you have to understand that they're giving these buyouts to these companies because these companies have to, or making the decision to sometimes pay a lot of their employees when they're not coming into work.
Yep. Yeah, but
like
still,
I know, I agree.
Those are
Well,
the
like,
lucky ones.
I'm in a fortunate position where I work for the Postal Service, which is another big thing going on with, the Postal Service is in a bad way right now. So like, I don't know what that leads for me in the future, and with my long-term future, I don't think I'm at risk for losing my job or anything, but
right.
I might be working until I'm 70 because of the way,
with the way things are going, we're going to be working until we're 95 anyway.
It's going to be unreal. But like, science at that point will be able to work until we're 90.
Dude, if I don't live forever, then I don't want to live. I'm just kidding. I want to be in a grave. Put me 6 feet below, dude. Just
6 feet apart.
Now.
Maybe that's why do you think they bury people 6 feet apart? Is that like is the 6 foot mark like is it just like a decision that we've made on life, like a meter of like our life? Because if we bury people 6 feet underground,
so that's for animals.
What is it for people then?
It's believed, or I think it's been proven at this point now, because we've been doing it for so long. Anything below or 6 feet or below animals can't smell through the ground, or something like that. I could be wrong. I could be nuts. But also they were saying, and to get off the coronavirus after this, it has the potential when people cough, which is another thing. People are like, oh, gloves, wear gloves and shit like that. You're using them for 15 different things. They're not doing anything.
No,
Take
that's
the
for
gloves
sure.
off. You got to put a new pair on every time you touch something.
Yeah.
They're saying if somebody coughs without covering their mouth, it go up to like 9 feet now. So pretty crazy.
It's a crazy world we're living in. I always reflect back to the first episode that we did, and we had our topics listed. I just found the Google Doc, and it actually had all the original ones from before.
Oh, shit.
And I deleted them now, but like, all of our, our topics were there, and it was like coronavirus was like a quick blurb, and it's gotten to this point now. And now, obviously, that was a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. We'll see where we're going to be at in a couple more months and a couple more weeks.
Dude, I might just use this basement as an apocalypse bunker.
You might have to. It's a good place to hide.
Legit. This is like, this will be the background for my radio show.
That's where we're gonna.
Hey, dude, we could set something up down here. I bet
we could record our podcast down there.
Yeah,
I got mine.
Will be filled with wood in a couple months. So
yeah, we're wrapping up the episode. We're running pretty close to our average time here, but I'll show you guys where I want to do the episode. I'll move my camera. So I have these cushions on the wall, or these padded things on the wall over there. So I was thinking we could set up our chair, like the camera, like right here or whatever, like right here or whatever. And then you and I could sit in chairs like right there.
That would be legit.
And we can have like an actual camera record us.
So on the podcast, you should probably just cut that part out right there, because nobody's gonna be able to know what you're talking about.
You know what this is gonna be? This is gonna be if you want to see what the actual podcast in the set's going to look like, go watch the YouTube channel, Way Up North Media. I'm going to shout it out. My camera's all messed up now. Sorry, this is a really bad angle. So yeah, if you want to see me point out things in my room, go check out the YouTube channel. Go check out my YouTube channel, not the swimmer. Go check out Will's YouTube channel, Will the Sniper with 1L.
I would like to change. I want to change my name, but
To what?
I don't know, dude. I feel like Will the Sniper is like unprofessional, but
What about being a? Oh, this is going to be a hot take. What about being a YouTuber as professional? Oh shit! Did I just say that? Is that a hot take?
you're not wrong. But I feel like Will the Sniper's not very
The
classy.
YouTuber I just shouted out, his name was Slimecicle.
Yeah, true.
Mine is not the swimmer.
Yeah, guess I'm looking too far into it. My hair's kind of falling out of my head too, so.
Maybe we'll get a sponsor for like a men's hair growth company, and you can get some products for cheap.
Dude, I just want all my hair to grow back. That'd be cool.
All right. Well, it was nice talking to you, Will.
Yeah.
Maybe
Hopefully
I'll
we
see
can
you
do it
again
in person
someday.
someday.
Thank everybody for listening and watching. Go check out the links below. I'm going to dump them down there. Any of the recommendations we've thrown out. Go buy a stamp. I'm going to shout out the company I work for. Stamps are like 56 cents. So it's super cheap. But, you know, if every person ever in the United States buys a stamp, that's a lot of money.
If you want to send me money too, $1 a piece from everybody in the country, like that would be. You imagine how much money you'd make if you took $1 from everyone?
A lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
You'd be a billionaire.
Dude, we should go around. We should make a video where we just go around the country and ask for $1 from everyone that we meet.
So we're just going to be traveling homeless men then.
We have money, but I think we should just go ask for $1 from everyone.
That's literally what people in like New York City do.
Well, we will do it with a car.
All right, we're going off the deep end. Bye.